My name is Daniel, and growing up, I believed I had the best dad in the world. He wasn't just a dad. He was my hero. And not just mine, he was the town's hero, too. He wore a badge, a uniform. He protected people. People trusted him. At soccer practice, he was Coach Tom. At school events, he was Officer Tom. At home, he was just Dad. He grilled burgers, told bedtime stories, kissed my forehead goodnight. Life was perfect. Until one night, when everything started to fall apart. I was 16. I walked past his office to grab a snack, and I heard him on the phone. His voice wasn't normal. It was tense, sharp. I told you, no one can know what happened back then. Not again. My heart skipped. I stood still, frozen in the hallway. What was he hiding? The next morning, he looked exhausted. Dark circles, empty coffee cup, no appetite. I asked if everything was okay. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Just a tough case, bud. I wanted to believe him. But that night he locked his office. And the next day, too. And the day after that. That had never happened before. Then the fights began. Mom was yelling, "You can't keep lying to me, Tom. I deserve to know." He yelled back, louder than I'd ever heard. I sat on the stairs, clutching my knees. I didn't recognize him anymore. A week later, Mom asked me to help clean the garage. There, behind some old boxes, I found it. A dusty cardboard box, labeled Old Evidence. My stomach turned. Why was police evidence in our garage? I opened it. Inside files, photos, old reports, and a small black notebook. It was locked, but the clasp was rusty. I opened it. At first, it looked like typical case notes. Crime scenes, dates, initials. Then I noticed something. Names were scratched out, sentences rewritten, entire paragraphs blotted with ink, as if someone was trying to rewrite history. Then the photo fell out. It showed my dad, younger, smiling, standing next to a man I instantly recognized, Ray Donovan. I'd seen him on the news recently. Sentenced for human trafficking. A monster. On the back of the photo was a handwritten note. I told you I'd protect you, no matter what. That night, I sat across from him, my hands shaking. I placed the notebook on the table. Who is Ray Donovan? Silence. He stared. His face went pale. Then he sat down, buried his face in his hands, and confessed. 20 years ago, they were partners, Ray and my dad. Two rookies, best friends. But Ray got involved in something terrible. Trafficking, extortion, smuggling. And when my dad found out, he tried to report him. But Ray threatened him. If you speak, I'll destroy you. Your wife, your kid, your whole life. So my dad stayed quiet. He covered up reports, destroyed evidence, and walked around with guilt every single day. I thought I was protecting you, he whispered. I didn't say anything. I just cried. I didn't know who my dad was anymore. But I knew what I had to do. The next day, I called the police. He didn't run. Didn't fight. He looked at me and said, "You did the right thing, son." He was charged with obstruction of justice, conspiracy. He lost his badge, his friends, his reputation. Now it's been 6 months. Mom and I moved to a different town. I changed schools. People still whisper, but I sleep better now, because I did what was right, even though it broke me. Sometimes the ones we love are the ones hiding the darkest secrets. And sometimes doing the right thing means standing up to your own hero. Months passed. I tried to live a normal life. Go to school, smile. Pretend I wasn't shattered inside. But the truth my father hid, it never really left me. One day I found something, a letter, tucked away in an old safe he used to keep locked. It was from him. I made terrible mistakes. I was too afraid to tell you the truth. I thought I was protecting you, but I only betrayed you. If you can find it in your heart, please forgive me. I stared at the words through tears. He was supposed to be my hero. Now he was a stranger, a broken man behind bars, and yet he was still my dad. I decided I wouldn't let silence win. I recorded a video, telling the whole story. The lies, the truth, the pain. It went viral. People from all over began reaching out. Kids of cops, sons of soldiers, daughters of fallen heroes. I realized something. I wasn't alone. I'm no longer hiding. I've turned my pain into purpose. Now I tell stories, real stories, not to blame but to heal. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is speak the truth, even when it shatters your world. You think justice is black and white until you find yourself stuck in the gray. I used to believe the system always worked. That if you told the truth, things would sort themselves out. But the day I was falsely accused, that belief shattered. I saw how quickly people turn their backs, how fast your whole world can collapse, just because someone pointed a finger. But even through that darkness, I learned something powerful. The badge doesn't define justice. Your actions do. Your integrity does. And even when the system fails, you can choose not to. It took months to clear my name. It took even longer to trust people again. But I never stopped fighting for what was right, even when it almost broke me. If you're watching this, and you've ever been silenced, blamed, or doubted, don't give up. Because truth doesn't vanish. It waits. And when it finally comes out, it's louder than any lie. This was my story. And now, it's my mission to make sure it never happens to anyone else again.